Welcome to the Money Runner. I'm David Nelson. Today is April 1st, April Fool's Day. It's the start of the month, the start of a new quarter, and I guess the April Fool caption is really the best way to describe the first trading day of the second quarter. Whatever factor leadership that guided your decision making in the last month, that was turned upside down today, at least for the start of Q2. I think the change in leadership really came from two sources. We've discussed inflation in the past. Inflation has come down, come in across the board, but prices are still elevated. Jay Powell has reiterated he is in no rush to cut rates. Whenever rates are coming down, I would expect to get a clear heads up from Powell in both the press release and the conference that follows. At the meeting before. What do I mean by that? Well, we got a meeting coming in May. I would expect if we're going to have a cut in June, then he's going to have to say something at that meeting. We're going to have to get a clear indication because they don't want it to be a surprise for the market. So if we don't get any rhetoric in the May meeting, then I would take June right off the table. This was the second piece right here. Today's ISM PMI came in at 50.3, showing the first expansion since late 2022. That had to catch the eye of Powell, adding more fuel to the idea that the Fed isn't about to raise rates anytime soon. In reaction to the above, we saw it in the bond market. 10-year yields jumped about 13 basis points at the high, settling in just shy of plus 11. In terms of sector performance today, communications was the standout leader. Our stocks in Alpha Select are our biggest positions in Alphabet, Meta, and Netflix. They were the day's winners. We actually added even more to Alphabet early in the day. We could see that it was really pushing higher. We had a pretty decent position in it, about 3%. We wanted to get that up to 3.75, which we did. What other sectors performed today? Energy. Close behind the communications sector. The only other sector in the green was technology. Technology actually did better than the index would suggest. The notable laggard was again Apple. I still stand by my call that we are at peak Apple and that the Cupertino giant will not be a leader this year. The biggest laggard was healthcare, which really can't seem to get out of its own way. And if today's poor showing wasn't enough, adding insult to injury was breaking news after the bell. Healthcare insurers were down across the board, anywhere from 4 to 9% on the heels of an update on Medicare Advantage rates. The news? No hike. A lot of analysts were looking for as much as a 1% bump. They didn't get it. And that means that's going to cut into margins. Procedure volumes have been rising for the last several months as people get back to the hospital. This is maybe COVID catch-up. However you want to look at it, it's bad news for health insurers like United Healthcare, Molina, Elevance, and a host of others. This is going to cut into their margins. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see some downgrades in the morning. I have exposure to two names right now, one in Alpha Select, one in Dividend Select. I will likely sell those at the open tomorrow. Unless I get any other information as a reason to hold on. But right now, I can't see that. I think this is probably dead money for the rest of the year. What was a bright spot? The other bright spot today, of course, was energy. Energy shares were very strong, along with the commodity. WTI and Brent were up. WTI close to 84. Crude, Brent crude up close to 88. With geopolitical risks increasing, and some good news out of China, crude has been very firm. Alpha Select portfolios and Dividend Select portfolios are both overweight energy, more so in Dividend Select. We added to both. We added to Dividend Select today. We added to Alpha Select actually just a couple of weeks ago. We may have to add more if this strength persists. Our tech stocks put in a very strong showing today. Our best performers today were Arista Networks, Dell, Micron, and I mentioned Alphabet earlier. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier. We added to Alphabet early in the day. All right, well, that's it for the moment. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm David Nelson, and this is The Money Runner.